Used that to fill the coal up. These are Larry cars going across, and the trains would stop under it, and they would dump the coal in, and you see the ash pits there on the left,
Yeah.
and the men would dump the ash pit, then they would dump that down into Cador's Creek. That wall's still remaining. You see that block wall on the right? If you go down there, once you get through the spur limit and around the curve, start looking to the right, and you'll see that wall, it all still stands. That's how they put water, the reservoirs on the top of the hill. And the gravity fed, they put the water in the steam engine. They can dump the ash out of the bottom of the hill.
I didn't realize the train was leaving. We went to the bathroom and.
Oh, you're on the train? Oh, my goodness. I'm gonna call the town, but you gotta be back on the train.
I didn't forget we got.
Is there a
off
restaurant?
the bathroom, we thought, get off the bathroom.
There was a restroom somewhere?
Oh, you?
Yes, I have.
But they come back, right?
No, they go, they make a swim, they go to the water.
Are you kidding?
Now, you rode your bike down, right? You went through High Tunnel.
Yes.
There you go.
That's what we were supposed to go to, right? What we're
No,
gonna.
they're not going that. They're just going south out, they're gonna turn the engine around.
Okay.
The engine goes back to the point side.
Okay.
Very over.
We have a membership, so sometimes they don't even pay attention to what the thing is, you know, and then I was thinking it was the tunnel, but I guess it's just a junction, okay.
Yeah, they're,
Yeah. By the time we get back around, we're just gonna go right back to it.
once we buy in here, we're going to
So it's 20 minutes before they come back?
Yeah, they're going up to, Smile, the pump, Sundown is, you see number 15 there on that?
Yeah.
That's where they're going. You know where we're at now?
Oh.
You know where we're at? Up 15,
No, he just came and said, you know, you're gonna stop, you can get off. We were in the, literally got off, ran to the bathroom, went to the bathroom, and the train was gone. Keep it on, yeah. This is where the train switched to go over to Hanover, right?
Hanover branch. Yeah, the Hanover branch went up the side there. You see the tracks there, on the side, and siding, that bandstand out there. That's the Hanover branch tracks. That goes west to Hanover.
Okay.
Of course, they're torn out, that's Hanover right there. That was the Hanover branch.
Okay.
And that went to Hanover, Spring Grove, Hanover, and then it went, eventually went to Gabriel. And then on up. Shipping. That was owned by a railroad person up in Hanover. They got the that. He built that down here in 52 when he bought all this to hook up with the motorcycle.
Okay. It's nice that they still have part of it going.
They can show you what it is. Now, if you come over here in this room, you can envision what an 1863 picture looked like.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd be looking, you're standing right here in that window.
Okay.
You're looking right out there, the tracks, right here at the split, and that's a Hanover branch train ready to go backwards.
Cool.
Now, when the Confederates came here on June 27, 1863, preliminary to the Gettysburg Battle, which was July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, General Robert E. Lee sent them here to destroy this junction and to rip up the tracks. And there was a telegraph system that hooked up and went the whole way down to Washington. During that campaign, these were the only direct tracks to Baltimore, Washington. So General Lee sent the 35th Virginia Cavalry here to burn the junction. So we know that picture was taken after June 27th, because if not, the engine would be on the other side. because of the turntable. They burnt the back of it, they set on fire, but they didn't stay long enough because the 20th Pennsylvania infantry was up on that hillside on Blatt's Farm, and they had a little skirmish here, but we don't know of any casualties. But the Confederates, the 20th Pennsylvania made a skirmish line across here, and the Confederate cavalry came down here and came down here and attacked them. And the 20th Pennsylvania ran up on the hill. They fired some shots and ran up on the hill. And then the Confederates came here and they broke in John Scott's tavern and took clothing and they took whiskey and supplies, what they could take out. And then they tried to burn the back of this, and smolder went out, and then they burnt these cars. These were cars from A.W. Eichelberger from Hanover, and they burnt all these cars. And when you go outside, look up to your north and you'll see this bridge. They burnt the bridge. They pushed these cars into the bridge, lit them on fire, burnt the bridge down. But Lincoln had a railroad superintendent rebuilt the bridge in 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Rebuilt. So there's the deal. Now that's a wayside there, so if you want to read that wayside, it tells you a little bit about, this was a village, and this village was built around the railroads. This Hanover Junction village. And they call the kids here the village kids. This gives you some idea of what happened in the village with the junction. Of course, this was integral, it was hooked up in 52 with NCR, we're still right here on this line. So you had a lot of rail traffic, and then you would have produce, and you would ship out of here, marketable items, eggs, lumber. And the other neat thing about this was they had iron ore up here in Long Park, along the road about 3 miles. There was a big iron ore hillside, and they were digging iron ore out the hillside. And then they were shipping it down, the rail came down here, and they were shipping that down the bottom where they would smell it. And coal was another thing that was dug out the hillsides. So it was plentiful in this area, and it was renowned for coal and iron ore. Iron ore would be smelted down to make iron ingots, and then it made metal. So that was very profitable in the area. And then they had this cigar factory here, they had a creamery here, there was a general store there. So the whole little village was built around this rail tower and the commerce associated with